Toxic boss constantly belittles me for his own amusement. Now he heard I'm looking for a new job and he can't find anyone to replace me, so he's panicking. I, 28F, have been applying to new jobs since October, and although I don't have one lined up yet, I'm at the point where I no longer care if I get fired from my current job. I'm leaving because of my toxic, narcissistic D-bag of a boss, 40-ish M. I have heard him promise the world to other employees, only to call them stupid or pathetic as soon as they're out of hearing range. And I know he does the same with me. In fact, a few weeks ago, he gathered all my coworkers in his office just to talk about how I'm stupid, lazy, and don't know what I'm doing. To be fair, I don't, but only because there was no training, and nobody else here knows how to do my job, especially him. Other things my boss has done include yelling at me in front of my coworkers because I didn't let him know when he was CC'd on an email, giving me the worst employee review I've ever gotten because I don't talk to him about my personal life enough, telling me that despite my poor review, he approved my holiday bonus for $200, and then complaining that his was only $10,000, hugging me when I told him I don't like being hugged, telling me I need to smile more. He also asked me once if anyone's ever given me a hickey, and yes, I reported this to HR, and no, they didn't do anything. One thing in particular that will forever live rent-free in my mind is when he got my coworkers to spy on me. One of them, who I thought I could trust, would always come to me and talk about how much he hated our boss, and as soon as I said anything in agreement, he would run to our boss and tattle on me. This coworker also reports to my boss everything I say. The other day, I was talking on my phone, telling my friend that I wished my boss and coworkers didn't gossip about me so much. Well, my coworker heard this and immediately told my boss. For most of the year I've been working here, I just try to stay positive and do my best to get through this, but not anymore. I don't smile at all, even when my boss tells me to. I respond to everything with one-word answers. He keeps asking me what's wrong, and I only say, nothing. Now the department is gossiping about me more, but they're in a panic. They keep asking each other if they think I'm leaving, and if so, who will be doing my job, which is funny, because I've heard them say in the past that I don't do anything. My boss has now been talking loudly from his office, saying things like, "Op is such a good employee." He's been complimenting me on finishing tasks he's never complimented me on before. He keeps telling me he likes my hair. And one day, he sat down in my office and told me point blank that I'm not allowed to leave. Someone in a different department told me that he's terrified I'm going to leave. Well, screw him, because I am. This week, I'm supposed to hear back from several places I've been interviewing with, so wish me luck. Update 1. My original post blew up a lot more than I thought it would. Thank you to everyone who gave me words of support. I didn't realize that there were so many people who had gone through, or were currently going through, a similar situation. In a few days since I originally posted, my boss has only become more obnoxious. He said loudly to another co-worker that I'm super smart. He also proudly ran to my office to tell me that he'd just done something that's usually my job just to help me out, even though I would have just done it myself if he'd asked me to, but he didn't. Also, in the past, he would get mad at me if I arrived or left the office without properly greeting or saying goodbye to him. I stopped doing that for about 2 weeks, but he never said anything to me about it like he usually did. The one coworker I kind of trust told me that after I went home one day, our boss sat down at his desk, looking like he was feeling sorry for himself, and said, "Up is completely checked out, but I don't know what to do." He also made a big stink about my birthday. It's at the end of this month. Our receptionist always posts a monthly birthday list in the kitchen showing the names and birth dates of everyone who has a birthday that month. She got my birthday wrong, which I honestly didn't give a crap about, but my boss made it into such a big deal that she came into my office to apologize. I had no idea what she was talking about until she said that my boss had been upset that she'd gotten my birthday wrong and told her to fix it ASAP. He also came into my office and said that he'd marked the date on his personal calendar and was acting all excited about it, even as I just stared at him with a blank expression. Honestly, I've wondered why he's so desperate to keep me here, especially since he said on numerous occasions that I don't know what I'm doing. But honestly, I think he gets off on ordering others around and telling people what they did wrong and enjoys having been able to shout my name from his office and have me running over to him like an obedient little lapdog. Last week, I did hear back from one of the jobs I've been interviewing with, but they told me they didn't have any definite answers for me and asked that I wait until Monday, which is today, at the latest. Even though I still didn't have an offer, on Thursday, I packed up all my belongings and cleared my browsing history while my boss had stepped out of the office. We work in contracting and construction, so he sometimes leaves the office to go out to the field. Then I sat at my desk, arranged some of our job folders on it so that it didn't look too bare, and mostly played solitaire for the rest of the day. He did come back, but he didn't notice anything, and the day progressed as usual. But the next day, on Friday, I didn't feel like coming in, so I called out sick. My coworker said that he came into my office and did notice that all my stuff was gone, and apparently flew into a panic. He thought I wasn't coming in on Monday, aka today, but I did. I wanted to just ghost him when I finally got an offer, but I didn't get the opportunity to. When I came in this morning, he immediately came to talk to me. He told me that he knows I'm unhappy and asked me what's wrong. I just kept saying, nothing. Even so, he asked me what he can do to make me happy, push back my start time in the morning? Give me a raise? I said no to both of those. He then said that he knows I'm on my way out and asked if I could stay until he found a replacement. I probably should have accepted a raise until I got an offer, but the thought of staying here for a day longer was honestly unimaginable. So I kinda just blurted out, I'll stay until the end of today. He looked shocked by that. After a few seconds, he asked if I could make a list of everything that's on my plate. I said sure, but I'm not going to do that. Before he left my office, he kept asking me if there was anything he did wrong. When I said nothing, he said that he wanted to know so that he could change for the better. All I said was, I don't think anything's ever going to change here. I didn't want to give him the satisfaction of telling him, oh, well, here's why I think you're a jerk, because he would have denied it. Also, he has a group of yes men surrounding him at all times who stroke his ego, and they would have told him that I'm the one in the wrong. He stepped out again to go out to the field, and I went and spoke with our HR rep. All I told her was, look, I don't expect anything to be done about this, but I just want you to know that boss's name is the reason I'm leaving. To my surprise, she did take it seriously and asked me to elaborate. They did just hire a new director in the HR department, so maybe that's why she decided to take me seriously, I don't know. Either way, I laid everything out for her. I told her that my boss doesn't respect me. I told her that I get that gossip is a part of every office, but I draw the line when I hear my boss talking crap about me to all my coworkers. I also told her that I feel like I'm being spied on by the office snitch, and that I can hear him reporting everything I say and do to my boss. She asked me if I had another job lined up, and I said no. The HR rep said that she would be talking about this to our CEO later this week. Whether or not she actually will, I've no idea, but I'm just glad I'm done. Well, word quickly spread around here that I'm leaving, and a coworker who I barely know came up to talk to me. She asked me if I'm leaving because of my boss, and I said yes. She said that he's the reason she transferred to another department. Apparently, she used to work directly for him, but one day, while he was out of the office, she called her husband briefly from her office phone right before she left for a work conference. She doesn't know if the phone was bugged or if my boss had access to her calls, but apparently, he found out about this call and freaked out because he didn't recognize the number she was calling. So at 4 a.m., he made one of his superintendents swing by the office building after he was done with work, go into her office, and look at her call history. The superintendent did this but accidentally hit call on my coworker's husband's number. So the husband received a call from his wife's workplace at 4 a.m. and freaked out because he rightly thought something bad had happened to his wife. He ended up calling his wife's cell repeatedly until she picked up. She contacted our IT guy, who was able to see from the office cameras that it was our superintendent who came into the office, and when he was confronted about this, he told them everything. Even then, my boss denied that he ever made our superintendent do this. So yeah, the dude's crazy, and I'm glad I'm out. The day's still young, so I'm still hoping I hear back from my prospective new job today.